My friend's cat got me these lighted hand thongs. If I didn't say hi to him and show my respect, apparently he was going to poop in my shoes. So, thanks, Snoop! I feel like Harold Potter. Today we're back on Redball. It's cold. I think it's like -3. I don't do well in the cold. But we're going to get the dash out, hopefully. Get the doors off. And the ground's pretty solid, so I can probably roll the welder out and hopefully put some bracing in between the A-pillars and between the door and the cowl, and hopefully cut off from here forward so Buddy can solve the engine too, and the transmission and the drivetrain can come get all that. There's the dash. Now we're going to pull the doors off. I got my 1/2-inch socket and ratchet. So we'll get these doors off, put these in the pile to take apart later, and then I can start welding in some braces. I've already dropped 2 doors on my legs once. We're going to try not to do it with this one. Gonna drop very soon. That's the door off. So why do we brace cars? There's tons of pictures and videos online and people who claim to be car builders chopping tops and cutting everything apart, not throwing a single piece of bracing in. That's why. It's got so much flex, this car is already out of square because it's so rotten. Like, the firewall's barely attached to the cowl, everything's shifted, it's been moved around, stuff has shifted more. I've got to get it on a frame bench and actually straighten it out, but I don't want it to bend anymore as I'm taking stuff off. So I'm going to run a bar from the cowl right around here to the top of this door post here, and that's going to keep everything pretty square, hopefully. I'm going to run a piece across the A-pillars so nothing goes in on itself or twists. And I'll do the same on the other side, and that'll be a good start to bracing it up. So I'll pull the other door off. I'll go get the welder, which was probably going to take a ridiculous amount of time because I got to drag it through a little bit of mud and dirt and gravel. And I'll cut some steel stock and start bracing it up. Not better, but at least it didn't fall on my leg. It's still gonna fall on my leg. Yeah. And there's the second door. These are really heavy. Now that we got the doors off, I can take some measurements, cut some stock, and weld in some braces. I'm gonna go get the welder. So I dragged the little welder out. We're gonna put some braces in. this is going to be very temporary, and it's going to be a little crude because I'm using old crappy stock we had laying outside that I cleaned up a little bit, and I'm welding outside and it's windy, so I'm going to lose a lot of my shielding gas to the wind. But this is only going to be temporary. It's just going to hold the car until we lift it off the rear end and everything, and I can put it on a frame bench. Once it's on a frame bench, I can start straightening it out and I'll brace it up properly. But this should keep everything from moving. I know it's out a lot now. I'm going to post up a picture which shows you exactly how far out it is. And I noticed this after I took the fenders off, how bent up this car actually is. But this should keep it from moving anymore. Not my prettiest welds, but for contamination and wind and pushing the gas away, it's gonna do it. It'll hold. Now I'll do the windshield. Again, not the prettiest weld, but it's temporary. I'll show a couple pictures of how we actually brace stuff up in the shop. Once this goes on a frame table and it's inside, this will get fully braced like all our other builds. Now I gotta do the other side. Whoever's leaving dimes around everywhere I work, stop it, please. Every day I find a dime in the shop, in the upholstery shop, out in the yard. I don't know who's doing it, but I'm gonna find out because it's driving me nuts. That's probably not going to move. Well, that'll keep it from shifting, hopefully. Now I'm going to go grab a Sawzall and cut the front end of this off. Well, time to cut the front end off this. We're going to give it a shot. If I break a blade, I'm done for the day, but we'll see what happens. Well, the car's cut and braced. I think we'll just be able to hook a strapper on it, lift it up with the backhoe, and then we can roll the whole driveline, torque tube, engine, whole front clip out. Yeah, that's why I braced it. I knew it was going to move. It moved a little bit cutting it, but I can re-square all that after the fact. It's pretty rotten. You can see how bad it actually folded in on itself. This is why this car wasn't restorable. So last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that tag off. That's probably important, so I'm going to keep that. I should take it off the blue one. See if there is one on the blue one. So what's next? I could finish gutting this thing and tearing it all apart and bracing it up, which does need to be done. But I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to order some steel, build a chassis cart for this, like a frame table, and then I'll hop on my F100 for a few weeks, get as much done on that as I can, get the Holley terminator hooked up, get it wired up, and get the boost set up, all done, the turbo and everything set up. So we'll focus on that for a little bit. Red chip here will sit. Red chip here is going to sit for a little bit. I'm going to build a chassis cart like I just said, and then we'll get back on it and we'll show you how we're going to do all the custom modifications, fix all the rot, go all through it, and it'll slowly start being a car again.